going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're here with a young brother. His name is Christon Jones. Now, this young brother, I want him to tell you about himself and the success he's had in investments. Because, you know, for me, y'all know my motto about this. As we go along, we need more people in the community that's doing what Christon's doing. We don't need more rappers, ball players, and strippers. We don't need that. We got too much of that. So we thank Christon for joining us on the show today. So, Christon, we are happy to have you here, brother.
Thank you for having me.
All right, young brother. I mean, how old are you?
13.
13 years old. All right. And what grade you in?
8th grade.
8th grade. So how did somebody 13 years old in the 8th grade start trading and investing? Tell me about that.
So as far as how I started trading, I really started trading back when I was, well, about 9 years old. So that was 4 years ago. And it really just came from an interest of seeing a peer of mine, or actually a 14-year-old black boy out of Chicago named Damon Williams, who had who bought Nike stock and, well, had a $50,000 portfolio. So it was really just from hearing his story that I really wanted to get into trading and into investing. So like and at the time when it was a video of his story, because I believe he was on the news. So I watched the video of his. And then I remember at the time I was around 8 years old. So like any 8-year-old or any child, I had really no idea what the stock market was. So I began asking my mom if she could teach me how to invest in stocks and basically get that $50,000 like he did. Now, initially, she basically turned me down and didn't think I was serious about wanting to get into the stock market. But when she did that, it actually, I guess you could say, lit a fire into me to want to do the research myself. So that's exactly what I did. I started to do the research and find out what I could about the stock market and about investing, or at least could understand. So I was ready and prepared to come back to her and told her I wanted to open up my brokerage account, which is the account you use in order to invest and trade yourself, which is, of course, the account I have right now, specifically a custodial account. So I came back to her, told her that. She saw that I was serious and I was actually interested in learning right now, because initially she had a plan for me and my little sister to start off later, and she did want us to get into the stock market and invest and trade, but she didn't think, again, we was ready and was too young and what it was going to be over our heads. But when I came back to her and showed her that, then she saw I was actually ready to learn the skill, and I was going to put in the work to learning the skill. So we decided, once she saw that, we decided to take a course together, learn how to invest and trade, and we went from there.
All right. So what was the first stock you invested in?
So the first, I don't remember exactly the first stock. It was either Microsoft or Amazon. And this was around 2016. So I believe, if I remember correctly, Microsoft was about $60 and Amazon at about $800. If I remember correctly, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. So you said you invested in both, or you just invested in one of them?
I invested in both.
You invested in both. Okay. So how many shares did you purchase of Amazon at the time?
I didn't buy a whole bunch of Amazon. I actually only bought maybe about 3 to 5 originally. And then Microsoft, maybe 4 or 5. Not much.
Okay. All right. So how did you end up, getting so successful where you have, made over $1 million?
I would say it really just came from practice, and specifically really just experience from winning, losing again, then winning some more, and then really just going through it and continuing to learn throughout the years, and really just following my own personal set of rules, which is actually based off my nickname, which is Truth. And I can explain that real quick. So here it goes. T, type 20 companies that you like and that you already buy from. I call this your circle 20. So your circle 20 will be like your, let's say you own an Xbox, who's technically behind Xbox. Microsoft. So Microsoft is on the stock market. They're publicly traded. So let's say another example would be Apple. Apple, you probably have an iPhone. I know most people have iPhones and there's Androids. And of course, the people that are behind the iPhone is Apple. Apple's on the stock market. So you can look at multiple, well, really companies around your house and then see if they're on the stock market, see if they're good companies, not good companies, but great companies, and that they're solid companies. So you could be potentially be investing and trading those companies. So T, well, find your circle of 20. Then R, research those companies thoroughly. Of course, before you can know T, you got to do your research on, well, those companies and know what you're getting yourself into, because nobody wants to just make an investment on not something they don't know anything about. That's like me trying to get into Forex and really do Forex trading, but I don't know anything about Forex. Like, it doesn't make sense. So you want to do your research on those companies. And while you're doing your research, you want to make sure you understand the historical data behind those companies, because the thing is, they do have historical data. And you really want to, well, I like to say, reap from the repeat, because the thing is about history, it constantly repeats itself. Like, this isn't the first time we've been in a recession. This isn't the first time we've had a major, well, virus or sickness come to the U.S. So you kind of want to see how the stock market has performed in the past in multiple situations. Like, even right now, you can see basically what everything had. How has the stock market performed in the past during the election time frame? And historically, it's been very bearish, which basically means it's been down historically, at least for these next couple of months. Well, these next 2 months, really just this month and November should be the end of it if it's historically accurate. And I mean the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. So you want to look at the historical data is basically my point. And then you have T, trade after closing. Now, this is a rule for me where, let's say I don't like to trade later on in the afternoon. Most of the time, I don't even really look at the markets. I'm as actively as I would, or as I am during the morning, but I really don't like to trade in the afternoon. But let's say I am still looking at the market and I see a potential trade setup on Microsoft or Apple. But instead of trying to get in right now, I'm like, nope, just wait. And especially this is like 3:30, 3:50, like around that time frame. So I'm gonna just wait. I'm not going to try and get in right now. I'm going to let the market close. I'm going to make sure I do my research before I make this trade. And then either the next week or the next day, I'll make the trade. And boom, I make sure I've already done my homework. I slept on it and made sure I'm putting myself in the best position, especially if I'm investing a lot of money. And then H, which I believe is the most important, have an enter and exit strategy. Know what you want and how you're going to lead the trade, which is incredibly important. Because the thing is, you don't want to go into a trade without a goal, just like you don't want to go into life without a plan. So you want to have a goal. So if I want to make, let's say, $15,000 off my trade off XLK or Roku, then as soon as I hit that 15,000, I'm not trying to make 16,000, 17,000. Nope. As soon as I hit that, I'm getting out. I'm cool. I've hit my goal for the day, week, whatever that is. Well, that goal is for you. And then I'm getting out the trade and making sure I'm not underselling myself and putting myself in putting myself in the best position.
Well, let me ask you a question. How many shares in that 20 should somebody start off buying?
Are you talking about the circle 20?
Yeah.
So I want to say it's necessarily an amount of shares you should buy. It's more so really what you're just comfortable with and your own personal preferences and goals, because everybody has a different goal as far as what they want to do with the stock market. And I do want to explain this as well or really just go deeper into how the stock market works. So I know I keep using this interchangeably, but you have two different things. You have, mainly at least, investing, and then you have trading. So I'm going to explain the difference between the two. So when most people, at least in my experience, say investing, they're typically just talking about basic stock investing. So you buy, you hold for however many years, and then you sell, and you just buy shares, in which in this case, you buy the share price. So if Microsoft is at $200 currently as far as the stock price, then boom, I buy it at $200. And as they continue to go up to 210, 220, 230, I make money based off how many shares I own, right? So that would just be basic investing. However, you have trading, which is a little different from investing. Whereas with trading, you aren't actually buying necessarily the stock. Well, you're not actually buying the stock at all. With trading, you have these things called options. Now, with options, you have these things called contracts. And one contract is equal to 100 shares of stock. And also with options, unlike stocks, this is the main difference between the two, besides you don't actually own any parts of the company, is options are temporary, or trading is temporary, where investing is long-term and you can pretty much hold it forever unless the company's no longer on the stock market. So with trading is more temporary, but you can also make a lot more money more quickly with trading than you would with just investing. So I would say, to answer your question again, it really just depends on your own goals.
Okay. Well, what about, do you recommend stocks that pay dividends?
I wouldn't say I necessarily will recommend them, but I also want to say that would be the best option. Now, the reason I say that is, now, of course, I do like companies that pay dividends because I like to get paid extra on the side. But the reason I say not necessarily is because I want to just look at a company just because they pay a high amount of dividends. I still want to make sure this is a good company for me to be investing into long term. I'm not going to end up losing more money in the long term than trying to just make this little short money where I can go out and trade and do options on the same company or different companies and make even more money than I would just trying to, do that investment. So I would say the main point, or to sum it all up, don't just focus on the dividends and how much it pays out. But I do like companies that do pay, of course.
Okay, for somebody that don't understand options trading, because I know some people understand, okay, Apple recently, they stock split, sure, I even jumped on, bought some of that. Because, I think that Tesla has split not too long ago. But somebody that say they want to do options trading with Apple, right? Take them through the process.
All right. So here's the process when it comes to option trading. So I'm going to just break it down. Let's say Apple's current stock price is $500. So that's the current stock price. Now, me as an option trader, knowing my option trade is temporary, I need to figure out, how long am I going to basically hold, this option trade, or basically what type of trader am I going to be? Because the thing is, with trading, you have multiple trading styles. I use, this mainly for them, and I use all four. So I'm going to explain one of the trading styles, which is swing trading. So with swing trading, you put your expiration date a couple of months out, and this is for people that want to make more passive income. So let's say that's my goal, just passive income. So I decided to do a swing trade on Apple. So this current stock price is $500. I'm doing a swing trade. So I put my expiration date. It's currently the 8th. So it's the 8th of October. So let's say I put my expiration date for, let's say, January 15th of 2021. That will be my expiration date. So then I figured out how far I'm going to put it out. I know I have time on this trade to go in my favor. Now I decided, am I want to make money when the stock goes up or down? Because you can make money both ways as an option trader. So I decide I'm going to do what's called a call option. And a call option allows me to make money when the stock goes up. So I decided I'm going to make money as Apple goes up because I believe, Apple is going to go up. So the current stock price, $500, I say they're going to go up to, let's say, before my expiration date or by my expiration date, $550. I'm doing a swing trade. I have my expiration date. And then the next couple of things I need to see is what's called, or basically pick out my strike price. So your strike price is basically like your marker when you're buying the option. So let's say, here, I'm gonna give this example. Let's say, again, the current stock price is $500. I put my strike price at, let's say, $515 or $510. So that would be my strike price. Now, as soon as Apple pretty much hits that $510 or $515 marker, then I'll be pretty much making money. Or actually, I'll be making money before then. There's a way you can do that, but I'm not going to dive too deep into that. And then, so I set my marker, let's say at 510. The current stock price is $500. I'm doing a call. I say it's going to hit 550 by January 15th of 2021. And the last thing I need to do is figure out, of course, what am I actually paying in order, to do this option, and how much am I going to buy of, how many contracts are going to buy. So first thing is, how much would I pay for just buying one contract? Let's say I would pay $900. Another way you can tell what you're going to pay is by looking at the ask price on an option chain. So let's say the current ask price is $900 multiplied, not $900 multiplied, $9 multiplied by 100 which would be $900. Now, if I buy 2 contracts, that would be $1,800, and then 3 contracts, $2,700, and then so on and so forth. So let's say I'm just buying 1 contract. I'm paying $9, or basically $900 in total, to buy Apple at a strike price of $510 for an expiration date of January 15th, 2021. Now, let's say hypothetically this ends up going in my favor. So this is the main way you make money off your options trades. So let's say it goes to from, I said I put my market at 510. Let's say by December it's currently at $535. $535 as far as stock price. So that's what it's currently at if I were to just buy the stock by December. So the main way you make money based off your options is by seeing, well, the value, just like with anything. So I bought it for $9, and it's currently actually went above my marker, which is also a good thing, which helps me make even more money. But I bought it for $9, and now it's currently selling, or is more so worth, let's say, $15. So I'd have made about, no, I don't know, I'm not about to do the math. I'd have made about a nice amount of money just off this one option trade, because it went from, well, $900, what I bought it for, to about $1,500 without me having to do any work. So that's the main way you would trade options.
Yeah, so you like to do your asking price instead of the bid price?
Yeah, you pay the ask price in most situations, but there is a way you can negotiate that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because the options trading is something definitely. Yeah, you're right. You can make a lot of quick money on options, but also you can lose it too.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you a question. How much you lost so far doing options trading?
I would say at least about 50 to 100,000, to be honest, as far as how much I've lost, which really just came from me being greedy or just not following the plan.
Okay, so the how many contracts you normally buy? It just depends on the price.
Yeah, it really just depends on the price and how much I guess you could say believe in the trade or believe in that company or how well it's going to do. Like if it's a more riskier trade, I'm not so sure about it, then I might be more conservative than buy maybe 1 or 2 contracts, whereas more of a trade I pretty much know 100% can guarantee it's going to go in my favor. Let's say I'm doing a call option and it's going to go up, then I might buy 5 or 6 contracts.
Okay, yeah, and those contracts, like I said, they can be pricey. So now, if a person that want to be a conservative investor on the stock market, let's say if they, man, they say all I got really is $100 to invest, and it'd be better for them to go the traditional, just buy the stock and hold it route. But you need a little bit more money for option trading, correct?
Yes. Well, yeah, with $100, yeah, you wouldn't be a lot more money for option trade. I don't mean. When I say by a lot more money, I don't mean like $10,000, $20,000 for option trading. Like you don't need that much money. Like bare minimum, what most people start off with is about $500. But if you have maybe less than that, depending on, of course, how much you have, I would say the minimum of that would be about $350, which is barely anything. But you can figure out a way to work with it. But if you just want to start off with a little money, don't want to put in too much, and just want to I guess you could say, get your feet wet with investing, then you could just do the traditional route and just trade stocks where you
so your friends in school, not you got all this knowledge, and it sounds like you're gonna be on the New York Stock Exchange one day doing your thing, or unless you go open up your own brokerage. What do your friends think about you, doing all this?
To be honest, it's really mostly just indifference. They don't know what to do with the information. Like, oh, cool, you do that. That's it. To be honest.
Right. But they kind of heard about your success.
Yeah, a lot of them have. I mostly don't tell them. They either somehow figure it out or ask.
Yeah, you're doing a good thing, man. Don't tell nobody how much money you making, how much money you have made. Because let me tell you something, that can create enemies for you. Don't ever tell nobody about no money. Oh my God, please don't. So your parents, like I say, what do they think about it? Because like I say, like your mom, so y'all took classes and things like that. What does she think about, how everything worked out for you?
To be honest, she loves it really. mean, actually, she's kind of the first. Well, she got started a little bit earlier than I did, maybe about 6 months to a year earlier than I did as far as with trading. So she has a little bit more experience than me. And then the funny thing is, at least what I think is funny, we're both very different traders. Like me, I'm a lot more conservative trader compared to my mom, where she's more so, let's go ahead and buy 11 contracts, 20 contracts, 50 contracts. I'm like, no, I think I'm good. I'm going to stick with my 8, 9 over here. I'm cool.
Yeah, because I was just, as you was talking, I was just, you know, like I said, I don't know who you use, but what company do you use for your trades?
I mainly use E-Trade. That's my main platform.
E-Trade. Yeah, I've been with TD Ameritrade for a hot minute.
Okay.
I know a lot of people been fooling around with Robinhood, you know. And I don't know. You think Robinhood is better or E-Trade is better? Which one you think is better, or does it matter?
I never really, I haven't used Robinhood personally, but I know other traders that have used it, and they've had, a lot of problems with Robinhood, and it's been considered a lot slower than the other brokers platforms. It is a newer platform, so I guess if anything, you got to give it time, but it is considered a lot slower. When you're trading, investing isn't good, but when you're trading, thing is with Robinhood, it has a third party, so it takes a lot longer for your options trade to get to Wall Street than it would if you were using a different platform that goes straight to Wall Street, which of course, depending on how you're trading, can impact on if you make money or not.
Right. So now the other thing that you have to consider, some special amount of money you're making, is your capital gains taxes. I know you learned about that, right?
Yeah, I learned a little bit about taxes. I mainly just have my accountant handle it, though.
Yeah, but even though you got an accountant, it's still good to learn because, accountants, they can make mistakes too, right? And
Yes,
one thing you don't want is either your mama or you to be on the hook for the IRS behind no capital gains tax. Now, since we had the pandemic, you know how the stock market, had their issues. Like, did you suffer a little bit, because of the pandemic?
No, not really. At the time when it originally, I guess you could say, hit its hardest back in around March timeframe, I didn't have many positions in anything, and if I did, it wasn't anything really. So I didn't end up taking any big losses from it, but I have made some nice profits from it as the market has corrected itself over these last couple of months, or basically the rest of the year.
Yeah, man, I like how you speaking, man. You're gonna definitely got a good future ahead of you, man. You just keep that up, and I hope you continue that in college and get a little bit more deeper knowledge. I mean, what are you playing? I mean, it sounds like you more so type brother gonna go to the Ivy League.
So I would say my main plans would have to be, number one, reinvesting back into Africa.
Awesome.
What type of projects? Mostly real estate has been my main aim so far. Of course, that can change over time, but that is the main focus right now. And regions of Africa would have to be more so West Africa, specifically Gambia, Senegal, Ghana. Those are the, I guess you say, main 3 prospects. Then I would have to say, starting my own sports agency where I show athletes how to successfully invest and trade in the stock market, where they don't have to do it themselves, but they can basically employ their money and put it into different assets that can get them a return after they leave their professional sports, so they don't end up going broke after so many years of hard work and dedication just to go to that level where they ended up being rich, which is temporary, instead they ended up being wealthy, especially since a majority of professional leagues, especially when it comes to the main ones, like you say, football, basketball, those are all, of course, Black players. Mainly Black players. So I really want to show them how to do that and become wealthy and not rich. And then last but not least, it would have to be actually playing in the NFL myself. And I do plan on going to college, specifically in HBCU. Which one? You just have to wait and see.
Oh, that's even better. That's definitely even better, because a lot of brothers that talk about finance, they thinking about the Ivy League, but you talking about HBCU. So definitely you're on the right path. You're definitely on the right path, man. And you keep it up and stay positive, and you know, everything, man. Like I said, I love to hear how you talking, bro. Like, because trust me, you got people that's, you know, not even nowhere near your age, don't have none of the knowledge that you have, and that's beautiful, man. So tell people a little bit, you know, like I said, you have a website people could possibly go to, and or a platform that people maybe can ask you some questions about investing.
Yes, sir. So you can go to my website, thetruthjones.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at thetruth2024.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, definitely, you know, check out the young brother. The brother know what he's talking about, because I was listening. There's a few things I wanted to ask him. I said, but I don't want to go over y'all head with some of that investment talk. But we need to, because some people that haven't really heard some of this, you know, unfortunately, because, you know, in our community, I mean, you know that well as I know, we don't really get to hear much about this unless we really go seek it out. So it's good that you know, brought this knowledge in. You're a young man. You showed some success already at it. And it's definitely proof that, you know, we're, you know, definitely versatile, you know, as a community. So, you know, Christon, thank you for joining us on the show today. We greatly appreciate you, man.